Hey, Anna.
Hi.
Good timing.
Perfect. Let's see here. There we go. Yep.
Joe's house didn't have heat, but the guy was there, so yeah, that was weird. Yeah,
He should move to California. We don't need heat here.
Yeah, tell that to the people in Florida right now.
Yeah, okay.
Or New Orleans. Where they got 8
Oh,
inches.
that's true. Yeah, they got snowstorm from unexpected, I think. Yeah.
8 inches.
Yeah, I saw just from George. I haven't responded to him yet. He sent a snowy message from Texas.
Nice.
Yep. And we have our nice, cozy 76 degrees or something like that, 75. Cool. Yep.
All right, let's see. Good evening, good evening. 1 second here. Joe will be on right around 7 on the nose, so we're good.
Yeah, I just went down to LAX and picked up my mother back a couple hours ago.
Cool.
Yep.
Another ship.
So if you see someone going back and forth in the background, that's her.
I thought we agreed on
Told your
World
mom
War II campaign. Oh.
Oh, she's good.
Did we?
Is she in her 80s?
I can pivot.
Yeah, she's 80 in a couple of weeks. That's why she escaped home to go here for her birthday.
For a zombie
Nice.
apocalypse
Very cool.
campaign.
Yep.
All right, here's what we're doing. It's the year
Sure, I'm good
3700.
here.
Humanity's elite fled to other planets long ago, taking with them all forms of advanced technology. Earth survivors scrape by with historic tools as weird phenomena plague abandoned nuclear sites. Witnesses report seeing glowing lights and the dead rising from their graves. And amidst the chaos, 3 strangers will meet in a dim bar. A veteran zombie slayer, a disgraced general out for revenge, and a space mercenary sent to investigate the power plants. Now describe your characters.
How did you do that?
I have the right tools for the job.
We're selling those books at Page.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Everyone, hey, well, everyone's doing well tonight.
Hello, Draga here.
Waiting. Joe will be on. Set him login, so he should be good. There he comes.
Hello.
Hey, Joe.
Hello. Welcome. Good to see you again. Only a couple of days since last. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt. Michael, what's up?
A story.
Michael, man, I will run ads like this for Frog if you guys have them. So, oh, Brevin, thank you.
Okay, point me to the comments again.
Anna, you want to do that? Twitch.tv.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Yeah.
I never remember.
Because you YouTubers all stick together and don't know shit about Twitch. It's just that's why I had to say the entire time. The entire time at Page.
There we
Just
go.
kidding.
Copy. I put it in chat here.
It's a little loud.
And then you can open the when you have there's a little cogwheel down at the then you can right click on it and you can pop it out and then you can close the video and just have the
chat.
Chat. Yep, that's good for bandwidth.
Because also what you see in my screen picture to you is live.
Yeah,
so
then we get it
always
without
maximize
10,
my picture. Yep.
Yeah, otherwise it's 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds delay.
We're like 6 or 7 now, but yeah. So
perfect.
I'm gonna go bathroom and all that.
You guys sec,
Yep.
yep.
A couple of minutes. Yep.
Yep.
Of course, Rob, I'm going to draw battle lines because that's me. I'm confrontational. It's just my personality to be whoops. I don't know if I shouted out there. I shouted out Utahime cosplay by accident. That's funny. All right. What button do I want to hit now? Jeez. I want to go to 8. Real quick here. No, I didn't. No. I want to go to 5.
Your repurposed freighter drifts through
Oh,
space.
man. What a mess. Try 6. Oh, that's good. We can do the big games game 3 doing. Smash it up. Show this one because we're going to go live shortly. Oh, man, I need this coffee. cold, man. It was like 10 degrees when I left the house today. Holy jeez. Ugh.
Yeah, it's cozy now. It's
Cold.
76 degrees here, so yeah. California winter weather. Yeah.
And I can never live in California.
Oh, I'd love to live in California. It's a wonderful Southern California climate is fantastic.
The gate. It's -10 there. Oh gosh.
I was only for a couple of days ago since I was in snowstorm, so yep. It was nice to be back here again.
Oh, dude, fourth man, I'm so much more sensitive to cold now. No, I don't get the first hip done until April 2nd, and I get the second one done 3 to 4 months after that. I couldn't get him done earlier because I took a cortisone shot. I got cortisone on both hips in December. You gotta wait 3 months after a cortisone shot. It works because now I got Gary Con, and I'll make it to Gary Con, and I'm doing it right the week after. So, it kind of works. Set the big way up. Good thing for asking. Nothing's open. Streamlabs. I already had to go. Dun. You mean one of those to sit in? Oh. Am I reverberating?
You sound good here, but it might be different on the stream. I don't know.
Yeah, you sound fine to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe
something with Twitch.
Or maybe Joe has speakers and no
let me
headset.
make sure that there's no sound on somewhere else. On another, no. Hold on, maybe I have it open twice. Anyone else having this? I don't see it. Thank you. Brevin, make sure you don't have it open twice by accident. Because I don't see anywhere that I have it double audioed.
Okay. If the other ones don't have it, then it must be...
Yeah, I think it's on your end, man.
Yep. Yeah, if it's not... Yeah, good.
Yeah, all my other mics are off. Let me just... Alright. I've done it before where I've accidentally opened Twitch twice, and that's how it's happened for me. But I'm looking here and I don't see any...
Oh, yep, he fixed it.
There you go. It's alright, yeah. See, it happens, man. Don't worry about it. I've done it 100 times.
Yep, I've done it too.
Yep, so no worries there. Right,
good.
I barely opened Twitch on purpose, let alone by accident.
Yes, there we go. Hey, Bones. Man, I'm so excited.
You like me, you're on it way more than watch it, because I'm on it 10 times more than I'm watching it. So yeah.
What's up, Vamp? Thank you. Everyone, kicking off a new week. All right, back from Page. Although we did stream Sunday night. I know Anna was on a plane. Anna, you got in super late, right?
Yeah, 2 a.m. in the morning.
Oh,
so
2 a.m.
yeah.
California time.
Yeah, exactly. First
that's 5 a.m. our time.
Yeah, first
Yeah.
we had a passenger. It was snowstorm, so we had a passenger who, for some reason, refused to go on the plane, and so they had to find that passenger's luggage and get it out, unload it. That took an hour to fix that, and after that there was a queue to go to de-icing. And the problem is that in Philly, the de-icing is in one end of the airport,
Yeah, you
and
gotta
of
go
course
down there.
Yeah, the runway that they use for takeoff is the opposite end. So you have to taxi all the way down there, 15-minute de-icing, and all the way back again
That's
and
painful.
around. So it took like 3 hours something before we were up in the air.
Oh man.
Yeah,
And they have to sit with the gate because they can't run and burn fuel. So they have to sit at the gate so they can run it on external power. And then they had to wait until there's no queue because they couldn't have the plane or didn't want to have the plane sitting on the taxiway burning fuel because we had a 5-hour
There you
flight.
go.
So yeah, so there was a lot of planning and whatnot, but they made it in the end. So yeah.
And no one, aside from Troy having a little minor fender bender, I didn't hear of anyone else having any. A lot of people took forever to get back from
I gotta say,
Page.
they let us go early, and the roads were still really dicey for me driving home.
Yeah.
By the time I got home, it was like it was impossible.
What time did you leave?
I'm very glad I didn't wait till 4 to leave. I would have been stranded there overnight.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How long do you have to? Was it like several hours to go?
Nah,
or-
2.5.
It's a 2-hour drive.
2, yeah.
Normally, this was
Normally,
this was longer. Obviously, it was like 2:30 or whatever. But
Yeah.
the roads were okay mostly. It was the visibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you never know.
And-
There might be other idiots out to do stunts on the
Yeah.
winter roads. And
Hey,
stuff,
Phil. I guess I'm the smart one that left for Saturday night.
yeah.
I was vending. I'm vending and on staff. They had me
Yeah,
stay.
double whammy. Hey, Phil. And Phil, thanks once again for coming on short notice on Sunday there. We really appreciate it. It was Anna's fault. I had to stay there and be a good host and have lunch before I. Well, there you go. You guys are all yes.
I got this at the flea market for $10.
That is it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That version.
That's probably 100 plus right now.
Oh, this is easily.
Because it's a rare one. The
This
Gondor
made my weekend.
The Gondor one's rare. Yeah, and I got the 3. I showed them Sunday. The 3 living Greyhawk ones I got were. Yeah, I got.
Yeah, I saw
stuff.
those. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we got Joe Block on tonight. So, one of our favorite topics always, well, one of mine is since I was a kid is Dark Elves, right? And then something comes along and ruins it for everyone. Drizzit, right? And I'm saying that I'm saying that to be very facetious, right? The stories are great and all, but then Dark Elves turn into these superheroes, dual wielding, law machines, and that's not what Dark Elves are. So, but
Did you just say La Machine?
law machines, yeah,
Oh wow!
Yes.
That's a deep cut.
Here's a real deep cut. What computer game could you actually wield a blade Cuisinart?
Whatever the fuck is.
The original Wizardry.
What,
That
the
was
one-
one-
oh, okay.
it
I
was-
thought
it
it
was-
was one of the SSI games.
No,
the
the original
games.
Wizardry,
Okay.
Proving Grounds of Overlord. You could actually find a blade Cuisinart. Like 7 attacks around with it or something crazy.
Oh wow.
So yeah, but I'm just being a smart guy here. Non-evil Drow, impossible. No, I mean that's not. No, we've had a couple. I'm not talking about that aspect. I love the storyline. I love the storyline of a good versus evil, especially. I just the power balance and all. But the reason I say that is there's so much deep lore and deep discussion. And thank you all. Thanks Calstep. We're going to talk about Lolth, the Elder Elemental God, and the Drow today with Joe, who's kind of an expert. I consider myself kind of an expert in this area too, as opposed to some of the other things we discuss on this Legends and Lore show. But we'll get at it. So, Anna, what do you want to wean out of this conversation?
I mean, I'm always curious to hear. Joe have so many cool alternate alterations to make those classic modules work better together, and I always love. He has some awesome videos, but it would be interesting to see if Joe, if you have come up with some new cool ways of getting the story to flow even better or connections to other stuff, because this is your home turf, and just like geography is mine, so these things are your and also how we can fit the Elder Elemental God and the Pomage and stuff into that greater narrative of Greyhawk. That's what I'm
Right.
kind of curious. Yeah.
By the way, before Joe goes here, special announcement: we have a brand new emote that came right out of the page because why not? And that is the ever mysterious
yes.
Tim evil wizard head.
Yeah.
I had to. He's like,
Yeah,
you guys
that
ought to
was so
make
good.
an emote out of it. I was like, okay, and I did. So there you go. So
Yeah.
there's your new emote for
It
you
looks like
all.
the model for the Telltale Heart.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He can be in any fantasy movie with that expression.
gotcha, Cal. Still.
Oh, now you unplugged yourself. He got overexcited and he unplugged himself. That happens every other show. Yep. Come on, Joe. He figures it out after a while when we don't talk to him. It takes a while. Yeah. Oh, come on.
Oh, nice.
Come on. It takes a little while. Unplugged. Yes.
I did it.
Yep, you unplugged
Sorry.
yourself. When you get
I
really
unplugged
excited,
myself.
I told Joe that it happens every other show. When you
Yeah,
get
it
really
does.
excited, you unplug yourself. So, yeah.
Joe, what would you like to get out of this discussion tonight with the talking about these topics?
I mean, I always enjoy just hearing you guys because it's great riffing off of you. Like every time the three of us get together, we end up talking about things that are tangentially, on topic, but it's so interesting.
Right, yeah.
Because it's just fun to bounce ideas off each other.
Yep,
And I still want to do that time travel module we talked about 2 years ago at the online Greyhawk con, the virtual Greyhawk con for the where you go back in time to the Sul Imperium and then
That's way back.
Yeah.
The Temple of Tharizdun. I want to make that module.
Yeah.
You should, because like I said, we were talking. I did the Hateful Wars 24-hour, were 3 adventures back in time, and that was.
I'll leave the 24-hour days to you.
Well, you remember what he and Tim looked like after 20
I'll throw this out
when I
there.
logged in.
I dare any of you YouTubers to do a 24-hour straight live stream.
Yep.
How's that? Because like I said, I was overwhelmed with YouTube versus Twitchers. There was 1.5 Twitch people there, so it's okay.
If you don't mind, just like a live stream of my cat. I'll just set up the camera, let it go for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But Joe, we want to see more of your battle system. There's several interesting battles you could run.
We have a surprise tonight.
Oh, okay, cool.
I know.
Yep.
I already teased Samwise with it because his new canon will be not good canon now. You know how he calls himself the new canon. Something that happened in our meeting on Monday night, which I said to Joe. I said, Joe, now you can incorporate this into what you're doing with Emerald Meadows. We'll get to there. We'll get to there at the end. Promise. So we got a little tidbit for everyone. All right. So, man, GDQ. Let's forget about Q for a second. G series, D series. I'm a kid. It's gravy to me back when I was a kid. Right? What was there anything better back then? I mean,
no, that was
that was
the
it.
epitome of adventuring back in the early 80s.
Yeah, that was it. And D3 itself is set up as its own, basically mini area. It's its own campaign setting when you think about it. But then there's a lot of things to think deep in it, and there's some stuff that didn't make sense.
Yeah. Was a D3 unusually amount of lore and like setting material for being a module back then? Because they were kind of sparse when it came, because a lot of them were originally convention modules and stuff. And
there is,
modules.
but it's kind of hidden in the descriptions and in the encounter tables.
Yeah.
And it's done very artfully because it's still laid out like a regular module, but every single paragraph has something that's absolutely vital or interesting to the DM. And it's one of the big tasks of any dungeon master using a published module, and not just D3, this applies to anything, is that you need to give the players the opportunity to find all that cool stuff.
Yes.
So the fact that there are these fighter societies or the rates.
That's why we have you, Joe, because you can point that out to us and show these things and it's
we're going to get to that. I don't know if we want to kick right off with that. So keep this in the back of our head. Yeah. Did a Cloudra invent or restart the worship of the elemental god, or were people worshiping Egypt? We're going to get into that. So that one died. That's too early.
Someone we need to dissect her, because I'm very curious, Joe,
Yes.
her trajectory through Greyhawk politics, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, which I think Joe and I both agree is wrong in From the Ashes, but we'll get there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like once again,
From the Ashes actually tries to reconcile all of the different sources, including Gary's novels, which I thought really helped. The
right.
same thing with I Use the Evil.
Yeah.
They tried to bring in every element of her backstory and reconcile it, like she went from here to here to here. And we'll get there. I don't want to go down the
Absolutely,
rabbit
we'll
hole
get
yet,
there. Yeah,
but
definitely.
it's very significant what they did with her in I Use the Evil.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So back in the day when Drow were Drow and fighters fought longsword and buckler, and once in a blue moon you'd come across a wand of Isiglobs, or a tentacle rod, or a death
Or a
lance,
demon staff.
or a demon staff, or a fire elemental gem. They're all in this adventure, right? All this stuff.
But they're not explained anywhere. It's
They're
just
not.
this little one line thing in the text of this brand new magic item. They didn't explain anywhere else.
So they weren't used in the stat blocks of powerful
No.
NPCs. They were
Well,
not.
they give you they give you one line the first time it appears, and then they just keep referring to it without any reference.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
tentacle rods get explained a little bit, and Ed does more in his Drow the Underdark in second edition. But if you go through this and you come across a magic item, it's just like right here. It's just like right in the encounter area or whoever has it, and that's it.
Right.
Just written down.
And if it shows up again, it's completely without explanation.
Right.
You have to have caught the reference the first time you saw it.
Absolutely, and that's the issue with the old school stuff. But that's okay. That was it. That was what's made it so fantastic. And I had a death lance being used at Page when they fought the third adventure with the Dark Elves. There was on a monitor lizard charging cavalier drow elf with a death lance. So it was fun. All right, kudos to Sergeant for even reading Gygax's novels. Well, yeah. Well, you know how Rex, you know how we know that? Because when you look at the Free City Greyhawk box set, there are references in the box set you find nowhere else in any Greyhawk lore at all, with the exception of those books. And the name Arental is mentioned in that box set, and nowhere else does Arental ever get mentioned, ever. So, so he knew his stuff.
Yeah,
So.
and even if Gary kind of got ousted very soon after the second book, at least he wrote them probably well in advance while he was still firmly in TSRs. So
at least the first two.
TSR. Yeah, exactly.
Right, first two. I'd say first.
Maybe the first three, but once he got outed, and then as the later books, because spoiler, he blows it up.
Exactly, it goes crazy. But the first three books are really like part of that trilogy. But he has to rewrite things and change some of the names since it was published by New Infinities. But you can sense that it's really three books that are together, so to speak. So
yeah. So back in the day here, you really had to. It's wide open what you're going to do when you get to D3 from D1 and D2. It's wide open. And really, there's no objective when you think about it. You're just wandering. What is the actual objective of the adventure? I guess the objective is to figure a way
survive.
Well, yeah, you don't know that there's a portal to Lost Plains until the very if you're lucky to come across it.
And if you've been paying attention, Lolth is not the villain.
Correct.
There's and this is what my D4 and Q2 did. Was to put the Elder Elemental God back. I think what the objective what Gary's original objective was to take out both Lolth and the Elder Elemental God. He said as much in one of his online Q&A things. Is like through clever play, the PCs could end both threats. And because what's going on there is that the Elder Elemental God is imprisoned imperfectly. That's why he can manifest through these temples of the eye. And that prison is in Lolth's domain. So the PCs, and this is something that got dropped from the published Q1. It's supposed to be a Lolth's kingdom also has the prison to the elemental god, and the PCs are supposed to not only seal the prison permanently, but take Lolth out at the same time.
Right.
And that completely got lost.
That's nowhere to be found.
When they published Q1.
Yeah.
But that was the original intention. And figuring out for the PCs, you would have to spend weeks in Errol Kinlu, the Drow city, to figure out that that's what's going on, because the PCs, in theory, the PCs know, okay, the Isle Serfs are one faction of the Drow society, and there are other Drow factions that are opposed to them. That's what D1 and D2 are supposed to tell you.
Yeah, right.
But again, it's up to the DM has to make that clear. The DM has to give those opportunities to the players to figure that out.
Yeah.
And that's something that is lost on almost everyone, at least the first time they try to run these models.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Dan. I never got lost on it because this area here was one of my favorite spots, the Lands of Noble Families, and it tells you everything you want to know about who's ranked with who's allied with who, and then I got it. It was right off.
But you don't know that in D1.
You don't know that in D1.
Or G3.
You do not. You're absolutely correct. But I was lucky that when we ran them, I had them all.
Yeah, you read through all three.
Plow through
absolutely.
The first one. In fact, I think we had D1, 2, and 3 before I got G1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, but we didn't.
The first module I ever bought was Shrine of the Quotoa, because it had such a cool cover.
Yeah.
The old cover is really cool. Absolutely.
What I was going to ask, are the Elder Elemental God and Lolth, are this the first time where they're kind of presented, or do they have like a prehistory from a dragon article or
nothing published? The G1 is technically the first time because we have that weird abandoned temple in the setting of Hill Giant Chief dungeons.
No, Anna said both. Lolth is in T1, Village of Hamlet.
Right.
One line.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
By name, she's name dropped because Lolth the Beautiful. Yeah. It worships her basically.
Beware, Mistress Lolth.
Came out
that's all it says.
Before G1, 3 or D. Yeah. I'm just curious to see how much of a prehistory, or if they were launched with these modules.
These modules were the first place we see this lore, and that's actually a great example of the way Gary approached expanding Greyhawk. Was that, rather than these big info dumps with big book, it was show, not tell, because it was presented in an adventure module, and only the information you needed to run that module was in there, but it does expand the setting.
How much do you think he was world building these into a bigger narrative from the beginning, or do you think he just put cool stuff in there and then world build afterwards? Or
I think he was absolutely throwing stuff in there, but it might not have been in the final form.
Yeah,
because remember when P1 was originally published, the standalone Village of Hamlet. There's a line in there about some have even seen the dark elves in the vicinity of the temple at night, and Lolth the Beautiful, in his description they say if anyone harms him, they better not brag about it in front of anyone who will inform the demoness Lolth. And we didn't know any of this stuff. The first time I ran P1, I made Lolth a 5 demon. There was no other.
Yeah, no, there's nothing about spiders.
Unless you had deities and demigods. Unless you had deities and demigods, which is 1980.
That was after T1.
It was well after T1. There you go. Absolutely. But that's when the first time you really knew about, Lolth, because Q1 wasn't coming out yet.
Was Drow at the time the instant success? Meaning, it's one of these things. Drow is one of these things that had its debut in Greyhawk and now everywhere in fantasy. Basically, it's one
really
of these
got
things
elevated when they did the novels, the Forgotten Realm novels.
Okay, yeah. Were they initially incorporated into Forgotten Realms very, very early, or was it later on?
Yes, because Ed Greenwood in Dragon, he used to have he published all these great articles about before it was just a published setting, and one of them was an article about how adding mundane problems to your to your game actually makes the game more fun. And in that article where he's talking about the Dale lands and his players in his campaign, he talks about one of the towers has an opening to the Underdark world. The Dark Elves are. So
Okay,
it was
so yeah,
definitely
he read about them and
he
then
probably
yeah,
he probably read about him in G3
exactly, and
and
then he
incorporated it
incorporated
into his campaign on the way. Yeah.
So they were part of Forgotten Realms when it was initially published by TSR. Then,
Oh,
yeah.
even before.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
Well,
cool.
To show you some of the history, Anna, I'm not sure if you're aware
God,
of
I
this.
know a lot.
Look at this.
Exactly, you do. That's why it's so awesome to have you for this show.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
Look
yeah,
who
we
makes
wanted you.
Look who
We
makes
wanted
an
you on this.
appearance.
Yeah,
I'm like plucking out obscure Dragon magazine articles from like
Yeah.
1981.
You pulled it out of your something, as we all say,
Out of my
right?
hat.
We all
Out
of
of my
us.
Mhm.
Omni appears first time in G3.
Oh,
Omni.
that's another awesome.
He also came
Gary.
out of the original Greyhawk campaign.
Mhm.
And in fact, I put him in Castleman Archmage. Because
Mhm.
originally he was in one of the dungeon levels of Greyhawk,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
he had
Mhm.
and he had this machine that would like if you thought you were going forward, but you were actually going backward, and he had knolls, and he had the
Is
boots of
Keek his
speed.
sidekick, the
No,
elf
Keek wasn't there
No, Keek wasn't
in
there.
the castle,
Ah, okay.
but
So
he
yeah.
had he had these boots of speed, and eventually sorry, it's a bug. He became this adversary that the PCs just wanted to get because they couldn't get it because he ran away with the boots of speed all the time. And then he showed up in published form in G3.
Yeah.
No, Keek showed up.
I'm trying to
I heard that heard a story that Gary ran an encounter in the Inn of the Welcome Wench in Hamlet for his son Luke, and with Keek and Obney there,
Mhm.
and they role played it out and everything, and that turned into the scene that we see in the Gord the Rogue novel, Artifact of Evil, where Gord is trying to is trying to capture Obney and Keek, and they do end up in the Welcome Wench at the same time, or like
Yeah.
a day behind or something.
Yeah,
So
because no,
go
those
ahead.
two are really cool villain pair, so to speak, with
And
the sidekick.
what's the name of the gnome?
Oh, that I forgot. Yeah.
Gleep Warp.
Gleeborg,
Gleed.
yes. Yeah.
I still have Flonkin Hottie in my campaign from this.
There you go.
Yeah, he's a member of the Order of Ulick and everything. Yeah,
Yep.
he's an irritant. He's the irritant NPC. Well, they all say a lot of mine are irritants, but yeah, he was always the one that was being an annoyance. So yeah,
That was awesome. Thank you for
so
getting this straightened out. So now I have more
yeah, and
more
there's some cool
meat on
like
the bones here. Yep.
so this is where we got to figure out like. As you can see, there's a great picture there, the tentacle wall and a lesser tentacle rod right there. And so I to this day still play up the factions. When there's a raiding party of Dark Elves, the leader always has one of the brooches on from the house. So some of the players have collections of them, or trying, and they're like, oh wow, well this group. They're only using tentacle rods. The other group aren't, and they're casting spells. They're summoning spiders, and so they get the difference. Of
and
which
there's
is which.
even in G3, and I didn't realize this at first. There's a Drow that's opposed to a Clavdra.
Yes, in jail
is in G3, but you don't know that she's opposed to a Clavdra until you get G3. What's that?
Is it Vlandrel, the one that has the lurker cloak?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's in the bottom level, if I recall.
Right, and you don't know that she's opposed to the Isle Serfs until D3, because then they list her as like one of the leaders of another house.
Yeah, I think she's right here. There's Nadaline as well. She has a demon staff.
That's what I might be thinking.
Yeah, right here. Here she is, right here. Yeah. That's probably it. Oh yeah, here it is. There are 8 guards protect Nadaline. A clerk, fighter, noble, generally opposed to anything a Clavdra attempts. So there you go. So Clark, yeah, Fighter Clark. Yeah. So there's a lot going on in this. It's not like there was the deep explanation of setting up a campaign setting book where all this is explained. It was not in existence yet, because even the 83 box set Doesn't go into the interpersonal stuff.
But
Right?
printing and editing was really
Yeah.
expensive back then compared to what it is today. So put in another 4 pages, that was a huge budget increase. Now we can throw in 40 pages or more for the same price, probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great, Rick Schultz. There's a lot of funny names and good names. We all tend to do that. Look, there's a Wandavis Globs right here, just in a random fighter mage. So, yeah. All right. Joe, you're an expert here. What first, second, or third level for the EEG temple in G3?
Level 3.
Yeah, that's where I am right here. So it's got to be right here. No, it's probably back. It's like 6.
Yeah, you'll see scroll up, you'll see the Drow with the wand.
Oh yeah, that's 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might. Yeah, there you
There's
go.
2. It's level. It's the end of level 2.
It's level 2. Yeah.
Okay, that's what. Here it is. That's Drow Clark's era, Priest era. Here we go. Okay, so I know where we are. It's a temple. Yeah, 9 to 11. Got it. Okay. All right. Cool. So the problem was when these came out, I didn't know how to DM. Yeah. Well, you know what? You can always go back and redo them, whatever edition you're playing with your group. So, it could be something fun for you to do. All right. So, give me an idea, Joe, of what you think Gary's thought was here. Between why create the faction issue instead of just having
because it gives the player something to role play against.
Okay.
It makes the villains more interesting when they're not just this monolithic bunch of mooks there for you to kill.
True.
It gives you the opportunity to play one against the other, to role play. Remember, the whole idea back in this day was you got XP not for killing stuff necessarily, but for gold. The same thing applies here. Is like if you can convince the one faction to fight the other faction and you don't have to risk your neck, that's going to be better from his perspective as a DM as a writer. And that's the brilliance of having all these factions in here and all the different houses. And then you have the merchant houses that are under the houses. I mean, if you wanted to, you could literally have a 20-year campaign in Errol Kinlu because of all the different, the rivalries, and you could stoke this merchant house is threatening to move to another noble house. And, what does that do? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that could go on. Yeah.
I was going to say that was one of the aspects that was carried over to the Drist books. The whole So they really kept that part. And to me, when I read I've only read the first 3, maybe the first 6 books when they came out, and that was the aspect of the Drow from the books that I really liked, and that was carried over straight from Greyhawk. They changed the names and stuff a bit, but the internal squabbly politics and stuff were taken from directly from Greyhawk.
And you see this in the Sundered Empire setting too, because they have that one faction is House Kilsec, which is in D3, but they give this whole explanation for how there was a civil war and they were actually on the side of Lolth, but they had to they were banished anyway. So that aspect of the lore has continued on. In the various ways that.
But they were all Lolth worshippers in that.
No, this is because they're talking about the civil after the PCs are there and there's a civil war and
But in Menzo there was no elder elemental god. It was all.
Because there was this was when Isle Serves, who worships the elder elemental god, was trying to take over.
Yeah, I'm talking about Menzo Baranzan. I'm Forgotten Realms.
Oh yeah, Menzo Baranzan.
Yeah, I'm talking about Forgotten Realms. There was none. Forgotten Realms. Yeah.
And in the Forgotten Realms, it's interesting. I don't know if this was a typo or what, but when Ed Greenwood did a whole big thing about pantheons, and one of the gods he had there was Lolth, with 2 L's, Lloth,
which is the way I spell.
Whereas in Greyhawk, it's Lolth.
Yeah.
Lolth.
Yeah, and I better fix this here. My title thing is wrong. I got Ed Greenwood.
I didn't even look.
I got Ed Greenwood there. I'll fix it in the others one too. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. I imagine he did that for some reason. He did.
I think it's easier to pronounce.
Well, just ask him.
Might be. Yeah, we have to ask him Sunday when
Yeah,
we
we can
get
ask
him
him,
on.
you
Yeah.
know, next time he's on. Absolutely.
So Joe, we need to you need to introduce us because there are probably several viewers here who are not that familiar with the Elder Elemental God and how that ties into the Drow story and where it comes from. So yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning, Joe, and just say this is where it happened, and then this is what I weaned from it, because that's all. You know, that's about all we can do, and that is here.
We know about the Elder Elemental God from G3,
right?
That's where we are introduced to the Temple of the Eye and the tentacle rods and all that good stuff. And at that time, when it's published, that's all we think that that's what the Drow do. They worship the Elder Elemental God. And then later on, we're introduced to the fact that no, that's a rebel faction who worships the Elder Elemental God, and most Drow worship the spider demon Lolth. And so we are first introduced not by name in G1, because in G1 there's the weird abandoned temple, which is half ruined, half choked with rubble, but it has all of the hallmarks of a Temple of the Eye. And then in G3 we see the same thing, but it's functional, and we realize that okay, the fire giants have been either they've already been worshiping the Elder Elemental God, and then the Isle Servs came in, or the Isle Servs came in and converted them to the worship of the Elder Elemental God. We don't know which.
Right, because the temple's right here in this area on level 2. So, and Rexalis asked a question: how did the Drow start worshiping? Well, that's still unknown.
Well, no, we have an idea, because the temples of the Eye all are centered on these shards, which are actually parts of the Elder Elemental God's physical body. And we know in Oerth Journal, 12, Gary did an interview, and he went into great detail about the history of the Elder Elemental God. Obviously, this was years and years after all this stuff was published.
Yeah.
And we know that Biori shattered the Elder Elemental God, and all these little fragments of these crystals and such fell to Oerth and were and later became the centers of these temples. So there's already one in the Vault of Drow. If you look at the map, or I guess it's buried in the text.
Yeah.
Where you got it. Where there's, it's a Temple of the Eye, and Gary just says it looks just like the one in Hall of the Fire Giant King.
Right at the end of D3, right? It's all the way in the back.
Yeah, it's obscure, but it's there.
It's very obscure.
So we know that there was already one of these shards, pieces of the Elder Elemental God, physically present in the vault. I've always surmised that the reason that they went to the worship of the Elder Elemental God was because they tried to take over, and the priesthood of Lolth shut down House Isle Servs, so they looked for something else to worship that would give them the power to take over the vault.
Oh, so Lolth is probably then older as a deity for the Drow than the Elder Elemental God, or
that is my feeling. Yes,
okay.
Is that because they say the Isle Servs were once servants of Lolth. And then they tried to take over, and said no.
Needed
an
alternate patron to power them.
And that's
So once that happened, and then they either, and then there are these other temples that are in the mountains. There's the one for the fire giants. There's the one for the hill giants. And they must have some way of finding these things, because they told the hill giants where to build the steading and gave them the plans for the steading. You see that in one of in the big treasure room at the end of G1.
Yeah. So another question tie into this. So is it only the Drow, those houses that worship the Elder Elemental God, or is that transferred to giants and others as well?
Right, exactly. And in my campaign, there's obviously human cults that worship the Elder Elemental God too. But the key is that their temples are sited on these places where the shards of the god himself were blown to by Biori, the goddess of nature.
Okay.
And so we have all these things, and House Isle Servs is directing at least the hill giants. Put your temple on top of this site, because this is where there's a shrine of the elder elemental god, and they're in the middle of clearing the rubble. So, so that's where we originally get this. And if you look, and now we get to tie it into the Temple of Elemental Evil, because if you look at the interdicted prison of Lolth, it is laid out just like a Temple of the Eye.
Right.
The only thing that's missing is the altar. Is that
you
shard?
You said T1. Do you mean the prison of?
I'm sorry, T1 through Temple of Elemental Evil, the T1 through 4, in the dungeons where the interdicted Zuckmoys. I'm sorry, the interdicted prison of Zuckmoy.
On the left side,
exactly.
in the third level of Temple of Elemental. Let me bring that up.
Yeah.
So that is actually laid out like a Temple of the Eye from G3.
Cool.
It has the same color schemes.
Yeah.
It has the same pillars.
Yeah.
It has all this stuff. The iconography, to use a religious studies term, is the same.
Yeah.
The only thing that's missing is that altar.
Yeah, what was the publication? How many years after did the T series come out after the G series?
5
years.
5, 6
okay,
years.
yeah, so we
5, 6 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Frank obviously had all the notes.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of work that had already been done before it got to him.
Yeah.
But
But there is no piece of the elder elemental god here
that we know of.
That we know of, yes.
And that's a big mystery I've been trying to track down. I suspect, and this is just me wildly speculating, that the power gem, the elemental power gems that go into the golden skull,
Orb of Golden Death,
those are fragments of the elder elemental god.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my I've been trying to find ways to prove it, and I haven't literally for years. But that's my headcanon.
Oh, that
because there's no other explanation for where the altar went.
Yeah, that's cool. And we have another question from Calstaff that the Lich Asperdes is from D1 is an interesting NPC, or more like a statement. But so how does he fit into this?
I don't think he does. It's just some random encounter. Everything in D1 is just this random encounter that's designed to soak points.
So we have a random encounter with a Lich.
Yeah.
Wow.
La 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 la. No mentioning that Lich, please.
Okay. Okay.
Because Undead Tumult is coming for the fundraiser. So
okay,
let's forget about that Lich ever existing.
Okay. Yeah, I was just so curious because when they mentioned Lich by name drop Liches in the chat.
Yes, and someone
there is
in this room is going to develop that character for Undead Tumult with the help of Gary Julian. Yep.
Yeah, there's really nothing. He doesn't play into the story at all.
Okay, he doesn't, but he's going to play into a new story or an old story. It's a new story. Yep.
Awesome.
Go for it. Yeah. So this. Yeah. It's just this is random encounter. You can walk right through here and go down the hall, and it's over.
That's exactly what you should do.
You don't even need
there's thing in here.
Hungry.
Well, that's just it.
You go right in here and right down the hall, and it's
the
done.
Players.
Yeah. Right.
But everything in here has only a distraction. You actually get more information from the small minor encounters in D1 than you do from the main thing.
Yes. Yeah, as you're moving up the map, absolutely.
Right, because that's where you get the mind flayers that have the prisoners with the things. So that's where you can actually glean useful information. The main encounter area in D1 is nothing but a distraction.
I agree 100%.
It does not help your mission.
100%. It has,
yeah. Cool.
100%, everyone. So, just so you're all aware here, it is up. Please, no need for donations yet. We're not there yet, but it is up and for wait a minute. Here we go. There it is, placed there, and it's also in the beneath in the panels. But there's for the 7th annual fundraiser. So if you want to participate, I got a couple spots open for streams. So it's going to be a blast. So a question Coco answered. Name 2 PCs with special players in my campaign that have acquired and own tentacle rods from defeating Drow in adventures. And she got them both. Her own character, who's going to be playing Saturday, Fornelin, and Eric Mona's character, Venarian Vord, has one. So, yeah, he got. So there you go. Yep.
And, okay, I'm going to go into 5th edition pet peeves here. One of the things that one of the magic items that's in the new, I guess it was in the 2014 one as well, DM's guide, is the tentacle rod. And the whole point of the Drow and the tentacle rods and thing is that the tentacle rods are only used by these renegades, usurpers, right? Regular Drow don't use tentacle rods.
Regular
You know,
Drow, only elder elemental god ones use them, and really from only 2 families. Right?
Exactly. So why are they included as a standard magic item? They were a very specialized thing for a very specialized purpose. All they do is like open up the curtains in the Temple of the Eye. This is not something that should be a regular magic item that's on the thing. It's almost like a relic.
Joe.
It's more like
But
a key, or like, it has a purpose that way.
But it's by people who don't understand, who have not really looked into the deep lore of.
So it should be House Tormtor or House Ilseers only ever. So here's the deal. It's the bugaboo of my life, and that is lazy writing. Right? It's a cool item, so let's add it in. Right? Let's turn Thrommel into a vampire wandering around the Return Temple until evil for some reason, because he was a illusion of one before. Because no one.
You're never going to let that go.
No, I'm not going to let it go. I tried so hard Friday night. Every time the dragon was nearby, Thrommel challenges him. Thrommel trying to kill Thrommel, and the other side's like, he declines, giving us bonuses to morale. You guys were, it was hysterical. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Thrommel's going to rule a lot, so soon, though. Yeah, but that's so. You're right. Great ideas lose their efficacy over time in D&D. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is.
Well, if they get overused, then they dilute their value, so to speak. It
is. I'm kind of glad Deathlances didn't go that route. You know
they probably just didn't notice them in line in the
yeah.
Or Wand of Vista Globs. I don't think that went anywhere. That's another great one.
Yeah.
There's such great. It's just like the little tidbits of Len Kafka that barely got out. That he did, like the Zombie Skelter. I know there's a adventure on Dragon's Foot, but that's
Yeah. But Drow as a phenomena has had really good traction and stamina. I mean, they're everywhere now,
and that's because of Drizzt.
That's what
exactly.
I was making earlier.
The concept has been really cool from the start in a lot of sense, and they have their interesting fantasy characters that you build a lot on.
So do we want to talk about cosplaying Drow?
We can talk about anything you want, man.
No, I don't.
I was going to say it will be cool to see a TV series, but on the other hand, that might be different.
Oh shit! Sorry.
But there you go.
Yeah, it flipped on me again. So. I've said this 1,000 times on the channel. I think Joe will agree with me. And 50%. If you're playing Drow in Greyhawk, you're playing Drow out of this, D3. You're not playing Drow out of the Menzo Barons and box set. I'm sorry. All right?
You have to use this to begin with, and then I'll take ideas from Menzo Barons.
You can. Of course you can. I've taken magic items out of that book, Ed's book, of course, and spells.
Yep.
In fact, Farland's got the spell Acid Bolt, which is great, which is out of that Drow the Underdark book. It's a great spell, but I won't take the concept of how Drow are.
And the houses and the politics and stuff, that's from...
I want this one.
Greyhawk version of that.
Absolutely,
yeah,
100%. 100%. So, yeah.
And I tried to do a little of that in my D4, City of Spiders.
Yeah, and we have that too. We can take a look at this. I know we looked at it a little bit the other time, but we'll look at that again shortly. So let's do this. Let's go to G123. So it's kind of like there's really a 1 in like 20 benefit of even stepping in this temple, right? It's like you don't want to go in here. You're going to get messed up. So he had to. This is so Cthulhu-like. I'm thinking, I was talking to Bill about this while we were both driving for work, that I think this was where they wanted to put an aspect of that Cthulhu
I'm sure
horror
they were very
into it.
inspired by because
Yeah.
fantasy horror wasn't that common back then as it is today, I guess. So
Right.
Cthulhu probably had a huge influence because they have cool monsters. You have to give it
It
that.
it, it does there's a lot of reminiscence of at the Mountains of Madness, because if you look at the descriptions of the murals on the wall of the Temple of the Eye, it's these huge tentacled monsters worshiping the eye,
Yeah. Well,
and humanoids and elves are being taken up to be
any mind flayers
sacrificed.
were they introduced here, or were they a part earlier on from somewhere, or do they come in later?
They're in
For who introduced?
The mind flayers.
D2.
Oh no, they were long before.
Yeah, but they're
Okay,
first
they're long
appearing in this
earlier.
in D2, if I recall. Right? They're in with the
No, they're in
cartoon.
D1.
They're in
There's
D1.
that
Yeah.
the mind flayer that has the
Yeah.
Okay.
the prisoners of the merchants with the badges. I think that's in D1.
Because for me, that seems to be one of the obvious connections to Cthulhu mythos or myths and
True.
and stuff. Yeah.
That's a great
And
question.
in the original, there was
Sure.
a temple of the old ones between the city of Greyhawk and the castle.
Okay,
You could
the
get into
old
it by
one.
by the
wow.
sewers or by a false tree
Uh-huh.
trunk. And
is that
Cool.
another old one? Not I use the old one. Another
no,
old
this
one.
is the old ones, as in the elder gods,
Ah, gotcha. Mhm.
the Lovecraftian elder gods.
Yep.
There's a temple between the castle and the city.
So you think they got rid of that stuff because they didn't have the rights to it and they didn't want to get nixed, or?
I want to say that Rob Kuntz once said that nobody ever went there because they were afraid of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, they had the Tolkien estate they ran into, so I guess
Well,
that
that
kind of yeah.
But no, this was I think the born again temple of the elder gods or something like that. You know, something snarky.
So let's.
I'd have to look up my notes. It's been a while.
But I want to put this question out to you. Here's the first appearance of the Wall of Tentacles.
Yes.
Right outside the Elder Elemental God temple area. And, you know, you have that picture right here. There's the wall, right? Now, I mean, this will rot limbs right off. The next time I see one in published source, it's on the 4th level of the Temple of Elemental Evil for the final battle against all the leaders, right? That's what it is. It's a tentacle wall on the fourth on level 4. So,
but it's yeah. I does it really call it that, or is it just like kind of superficially resemble it? Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah. Gosh, now you're gonna make.
So I know we don't see a tentacle rod.
You don't see a tentacle rod, but you have a Drow as one of the leaders down there, right? One of them is a Drow. I gotta find her now.
Well, Jay, while you're looking, did the Elder Elemental God had a nickname or an alias or something, or is it always called? Well, we have the old one or something once.
Oh, we have an actual name.
Okay.
In that article in Orth Journal, it was something really weird.
It's just called an altar curtain. Altar curtain.
Yeah.
But it says this. I'm sorry to interrupt. It is, in fact, this cluster of 6 violent fungi bearings. It says violent fungi. Up to 24 tentacles may be produced at once, sprouting forth a curtain in an instant. So it may be slightly different then.
It's called Rentak. Rentaq.
Right.
Rentak.
That's the name of the Elder Elemental God. Or it's actually a god. Vilp Cho Rentak. Great. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just typing in something. I'm just saying, Ann almost gave away our special encounter for the fundraiser.
Without knowing it, because I didn't know that.
I know you had no idea.
That's why because Cal's staff had an interesting little tidbit there. So I was like,
yeah. So, all right. I guess they are different walls. We always assume, though, from us, it sounded like a tentacle wall, you know. And there's a Drow right in there too. But I guess it probably is not. Yeah. So we get to this point here where this is the first appearance in D3, and this is the first appearance of Drow, right? In any adventure, right? D3. G3.
Their first mention, but the first actual appearance.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Lovecraft and Greyhawk more generally. Yeah, you got it. So this appears to be some, and thank you, Baker, appears to be some super powerful thing that, these Drow have here. I'm assuming it's I mean, have you ever utilized a wall like this in an adventure, Joe? Okay.
Outside of, things related to the eye, no.
Yeah, Monster Manual, and it says their legend or whatever. It says multiple places, that all that stuff. It says that in Dungeon Master's Guide.
Yeah, they are presented as weak fighters but strong magic users or something like that. Yeah.
So you get to this point, and I'm confused as a kid here. We all are. And the question that came up in chat also from Sharp Chris is, how comprehensive is the politics wise? And the answer to that is, it's really deep, but you need to know where to read. You can't just go and read a synopsis on it. You have to go.
It's subtle.
It's so subtle.
There are hints throughout. Yeah.
Anna, I'm sorry, I interrupted you earlier.
No. It's okay. I'm that's awesome. And in your opinion, the Elder Elemental God is not Thuristan, right?
100%.
Oh my God.
100%.
Yeah. I was just wanting to clarify that, because there's so many
I roll my eyes out loud?
Yeah, I know. You could just say no, and then we don't have to go there. So yeah.
No, we can explain why.
Then we're done. Yep.
Joe, explain why.
Because it's unnecessary. It's
Exactly.
unnecessarily reductive.
Yep.
Because at the time that was done, Tharizdun was the big baddie for everything. They just everything had to be either Vecna or Tharizdun or Ayuz. It was like they were incapable of thinking that Greyhawk could have another villain.
Yeah, I agree. That makes much more fun sense, or much more interesting as a setting and world building, if there's more than one.
Yeah, and I think the reason that they had that idea was because they're both evil imprisoned gods. And so superficially, there's a similarity between them, but my God, they're just so very different. The way that they're presented, for obviously Tharizdun is most clearly presented in the Gord the Rogue novels. We actually we hear dialogue.
Yeah.
But other than they're both imprisoned and they're both evil, they're completely different. If you look at the Lost Temple of Tharizdun,
it's cold and void. It's not tentacles writhing all over the place.
Right, exactly. I thought you were talking about my house.
No,
no.
My heat went out, and it was 4 degrees last
I can't even imagine.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
Again, Gary, I agree 100% with you. It's poor.
And now
writing.
a follow-up question that I think it might be more interesting. So, what do we know? Do Elder Elemental God has some sort of like a cultural connotation? Is it a Flan thingy? Is it a Sewell thingy?
No, it's from a different reality. It is from a completely different multiverse, and that's what makes it so alien. Is the fact that it is not native to the multiverse, and that's why it was so it had to be destroyed and imprisoned. Because of the threat that it posed. And Gary had said that the elemental part of it wasn't necessarily linked to like the 4 elements, but to elemental in the sense of fundamental, of being so ancient that it was an elemental force in the universe. Rather than air, fire, water. That was the implication of the word originally when he used it.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Cal said one of the 3 elemental gods. Vlipa is a dark creature. Yep.
Yeah. They're like the Forgotten Realms has its own elder elemental god.
Yep.
Yeah.
So can we say this, that it probably went this way? The Elserves are trying to take over the entire LRL High, whatever they're attempting to do.
Right. They're worshiping Lolth, and they make a bid to take over.
And Lolth doesn't like that. And then they see this, whatever this is going on here, this Elder Elemental God aspect as a way to usurp Lolth, use this thing's power to take over. And that's how it starts.
Exactly. And that actually fits in with the Gord the Rogue novels, because
Yep,
later we
yep.
see that Iclavdra is now serving Grast.
You're right.
So
Yep.
she has no sincerity in her worship whatsoever. She worships Lolth when she thinks it'll benefit her. She worships the Elder Elemental God when she thinks it'll benefit her, and she worships Grast when she thinks it'll benefit
I
her.
see her
And I
as a
love that.
I see her as a Greyhawk top political consultant who's kind of work for whatever suits her the best at the moment, either monetary or who she thinks can win or who she thinks should win at the moment or something. So yeah.
Yeah. And then later on, she goes back to Lolth.
Yeah.
And Lolth brings her in. Lolth
Yeah,
doesn't
and
care.
we don't know who she might be like a double, triple spy, so we don't know who she might have a loyalty deep down that we don't know
I think
about or
the
something.
only loyalty she has is to her own advancement.
Yeah.
She is willing to serve and use
Yep.
anything
Yep.
and anyone to get more power.
Yep.
And I think that is
I get that
that's
sense
what
too.
makes her such a great villain.
Yeah, exactly.
She's easily in the top 3 of Greyhawk villains.
So she's 10th level here in G3. What does EPS stand for? What's that?
Evil High Priestess.
That's it. Okay. And they just slur it together. Got it. So she's
It's
only
like
10.
EHP. In fact, somebody brought this up at I think you brought it up at Page, right? When you saw EHP, you didn't know what it meant.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
This is the same. It's just it's the same deal.
She's only 10th here. So, but it's gonna pop up real quick here from this to
remember,
D3.
in first edition, 10th level was something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm saying in comparison to where she goes in other books, she goes up pretty quick from this point. She's probably been alive for hundreds of years already. There's no age. Once again, another thing I think that's lost is a lot of these characters, or maybe it's better because then you can be used on and on and on. We don't know how old a lot of them are. I guess that wasn't. Omni is around like all the way back here, and he goes all the way through the 5th edition, and so it's just once again get some new enemies.
Did a whole video on Omni's journey.
Right.
So, and I had the map up, and I said, okay, so he's here, and then he moves, and I had the icon of his face moving around. It was all because he's one of the great NPCs. Omni.
Yeah.
But I'm not using them because it's too much. Right.
Okay.
I don't want him in like we talked about. Well, we're going to utilize this guy in our Luke book. I'm like, no, let's get away from. I
haven't used him either, really. So, but he's sooner or later, sometime in the future, I might use him because he's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have him in Castleman Archmage. I put it back where he started.
Yeah,
that's cool. That makes sense.
With the machine, with the machine that you move forward instead of backward, and the Knoll henchman and stuff. Yeah, he's on like level 4 or 5 or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
So before we get into Joe's own publications, G 1 through 3 and D 1 through 3, what little tidbits of coolness relating to any of the 3 topics are we missing? I'll say I really liked. And if you go to D3, I thought this was cool, and this is where you could really develop, especially if you were one who loved to make your fighters like unique. The fighter societies here I thought were really well, even though it's only a couple paragraphs, but they have these actual societies for combat styles,
Right.
And I loved that in there. And I also loved. All these, they may be allied. The stone warehouses are here for all the merchant caravan groups, but some of them are allied to houses. Some of them aren't. So there's factions all over the place.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
You don't know until you delve into it deeper. So you love the shrine. You love the shrine there, Gary? Shrine is interesting.
The shrine. Okay, I did a video about this a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
The deep gnomes in the shrine, right? In D2, you got Garl, Garnet Getter or whatever his name is, and the PCs encounter these deep gnomes, and they say, yes, we'll help you, but any gems you find, you give to us. And the PCs are
Crossley Garnet Getter.
Yes, that's it.
All right, let me.
And the PCs are going to say, okay, fine, we have allies finally. But the only easily accessible gems in the entire module are are at the actual shrine of Blibdoolpool.
Which if you touch,
And so they're actually goading the players. It's a trap. I think the deep nodes are a trap to goad the players into being more aggressive in the shrine of the Quotoa than they need to be. Because the shrine of the Quotoa is just like D1. You could just walk right through it, pay obedience to the just bow or whatever, and keep walking through, and the Quotoas aren't going to care.
exactly.
But the deep gnomes are saying, look at all those gems. We have to attack the pyramid in the middle. Because that's where all the gems are. Because that's all they care about. So that's my favorite thing about the series is that your allies are actually going to end up making your life a lot harder than it would have been otherwise.
Well, they're a little self-serving, right?
Yeah.
But if
But I love that part.
If evil's destroyed in it, so be it. You know, it's a little sidebar thing there, which I think is, you know, things were on that level back in the old school days, right? We're gonna get the treasure and kill the bad guys, and hey,
right,
get these bigger people to do it for us. Yeah, yeah. But once again, the Wandering Monster encounter tables were very well done in here. There's a lot of detail on.
And again, there's new monsters in those tables that don't appear anywhere else too. Just like the magic items are only described in line. There's monsters that are only described in line.
Absolutely. And if you're really lucky, you can get teleported to the elemental plane of water by accident in this adventure, which is really good.
If the gnomes are going to make you do that, they're the ones. Oh, you get them. You go attack it. We'll get the gems.
So so here is the other Dwarf Elf. There's one here, lower area. Oh no, yeah, it's just got Drow. It's Drow magic items. It's Drow magic items that were destroyed that they captured. All right, so you got two elemental god temples. D3 and
3 technically.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's the one in underneath the G1.
Oh, that's right. There's one in the G1. Yeah, but it has no power.
It's not active and operational, but it's there.
Right. True. So there's 3 there, and then you're saying that what a catch is level 3 of Temple Elemental Evil, where Zuktamoi is imprisoned, is similar.
Correct. It's got to be. It's got it's the names of the materials that it's made of. It's like serpentine and porphyry, and it's exactly the same color scheme as the others. It's iconography. It's not exactly the same layout. Plus, it has pillars and stuff, but it has all the elements that you would expect to see, except for the altar.
Yeah, lots of really good stuff. Yeah, I always try to figure out how I would incorporate Croatoans into my campaign, right?
Quotoas are one of my favorite villains.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah.
I figured it out. So, because Croatoans aren't raiding during the daytime in the surface world, right? That's not what they can't. They're like the.
Well, they want to stay.
They can.
Well, they could. I don't think they suffer in sunlight, do they?
I guess they dry out.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the ones in D2. There are pools everywhere, but they don't.
Okay, yeah.
They actually say that there used to be deep ocean dwelling Quotoas, but they died out.
Yeah, they are more truly amphibian in that sense than. Yeah.
Well, everyone knows what I've done, so we don't need to go over that. Bred another race, another set of creatures.
Oh yeah, you have your little cool ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the Murlocs.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's been considered that the.
I see what you did there. Murloc.
Yeah, the Murlocs from WoW. They breed them. I have them. They breed them and use them to raid the surface world.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's been considered that EG temples preceded the giants in Drow, and the Clavra was drawn to them. Has been considered. Yeah. Well, we think that's. We think that a Clavra used them because she knew about it or found out about it, and then used it to her advantage against fighting Lolth because she was against
Right.
Lolth at the time. So the answer
Right.
to
Once
that
once
is
Lolth's priest said, "No, you can't be queen of the vault,"
yeah,
that's when she turned to the worship of the elder elemental gods.
right. That's
But the temple was there all along from millennia past,
right.
or at least the altar of the
So you're
eye.
saying Gary in this article says that it is Bior. It's a Biori destroys this. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. It's
Okay. Somewhere in here. Here it is.
it's somewhere
Here
in
it
there.
is.
Yeah.
Here it is. Temple of Evil and Elder Elemental God. E.g. All right. E.g. was indeed meant by me to have a place in the very nethermost restlessness of TOEE. Right? Of course, that would counter somewhat freeing of victimly, but she's been loose, so bounced. All right. It was already quite hefty. I
Oh,
decided to omit any mentions to Frank Menser, and so TE was released with only the Eye of Fire as clue what should I included in this adventure. Got it. All right. It's right there. It's right there in the Paul Stromberg Gary art in issue 12 of Earth Journal. So, speculated these initial worshippers may have included the ancient wizards Galabdradel, Chareptus, and possibly the wizard priest in the Isles of Woe. That's a possibility. I don't know. I think that would leave up to speculation of everyone else, right? So, yeah. All right. So, Calavra has bounces around,
yes.
right? So she's 10th level in G3, but I think she's a little higher when you get here. And then
I know she's fully statted out in I Use the Evil.
yeah, I think she's 16th in Eyes the Evil.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Which makes sense. You know, that takes place many in-game years after Vault of the Drow, so I can buy that.
Yeah. Where the hell's house is her? Here it is. All right, so now they have her. They have her 10th cleric, 4 fighter cleric. So that's interesting. Thanks, Bill. I don't know about that nice evil. Let's go see if I can find her. Is she statted out anywhere else?
Probably in one of the 3 ebooks, but I know she's in I Use the Evil. That's the only one I can remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got to be in some villain book somewhere.
Yep. All right.
But maybe not statted out.
Which
doesn't Tales of the Yawning Portal, doesn't that have
I don't know
G3
anything
in it?
about Tales of the Yawning Portal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think
about that.
that's got G3 in it.
I'm trying to find it. My Eye Is the Evil on here. I can't find one. There it is. All right. 2nd edition. Yawning Portal is a 5th edition publication, so do we trust anything that's in there? Just kidding. Well, I'm not actually kidding. Let's see. She's just listed in the NPCs, which is really weird. Which I think's at the end, or am I going too far? No, it's in the middle, isn't it? Another book where you don't know where anything is. No, it's at the end. It is at the end.
Yeah, all the stat blocks are at the end.
Except the Boneheart, right? The Boneheart's earlier. Pazriel's in here. All right, it should be right here. Calavra. 17th.
Yeah.
Let me bring that up. Jeez. That's higher. Another 18th, I think. Althea and Holler 18th, I believe. Yep. So there you go. Not a lot of detail here.
What are you looking at here? Which
Eyes the Evil, page 91.
Right, yeah, she's an ambassador to Ayuz.
Drow ambassador in Doraka.
Mm-hmm.
Indeterminate age. She fears Ayuz when he is angry, but otherwise has a permanent sardonic half sneer on her face. So there you go. She relays message from Grazitz to Ayuz, as he and Lolth have agreed. So it's a mess. So,
Which is great, because this is what I love about this. This mirrors what we see in the Gord the Road books.
Okay, all right, that makes sense then. Because so basically, Carl Sargent's doing right by Gary's writings.
Oh yeah, he tried to stay close to that as much as possible, I think.
So Curtis.
Yep.
Yep. She's been nerfed in 5e. Looking at the G3 conversion.
Welcome to 5e.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there you go. So that's where my association with the Clopter kind of ends, is right here, and I don't go here. I still like the Elemental God Lolth fighting going on in my campaign. It adds that extra dynamic, but that's okay. Everyone can do whatever they want with that. So all right, so she is there. So what little things can we wean out of this City of Spiders, Joe, that you've done?
Okay, so this is. Let me just set the stage. If anybody wants a copy of this, it is a free download on my website, greyhawkragnar.com.
Thanks, Rob.
And I wrote this in order to give the PCs a chance of figuring out what they're supposed to do. Right. So if the clues in D1 through 3 were too subtle, this will give you the opportunity to figure out, okay, I have to go here, I have to do this, and then I'm going here to kill
Cool.
to kill Lolth and finally imprison the Elder Elemental God. And I've got a whole bunch of, it's an urban adventure. There's a whole bunch of missions that a Mind Flayer sage sends them on, and there's a complete map and description of the Islesworth's estate, with all the NPCs and all the other nobles who are there, all statted out and everything. And the goal of this is to get the PCs to realize, okay, this is you are close to the end of your mission. Here's what you need to do.
Right.
And I really studied D3 and putting this together. Like, how in D3 they give the for each one of the noble houses, they say they have this many fighter magic users of this level and this many clerics. They're all present in the Islesworth.
And you
and all the
really
magic
made it
items and all that.
look like an old first edition module too, with fonts and all layout.
I always try to do
cool.
that.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like you when you put in these kind of political updates, you even put in ads for Old Dragon magazine ads. I think that was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, my Dragon magazine articles.
Mm-hmm.
I use the old. I always try to make sure I'm using companies that don't exist anymore.
Oh yeah, but that's so cool because they were from flashbacks.
They were from when I was reading Dragon. This is what I remember when I was reading Dragon Mag.
Yeah, back then we didn't have the internet, so even the ads were really interesting back then too. Yeah,
exactly. So that's the purpose of D4.
Yeah.
My D4
Cool.
is to aim the players where they need to go.
The Hidden Shrine is mapped out even too. Right there.
Yes, I made it a little different than the one in G3 because I thought it deserved to be. And I introduce a new creature, the Lesser Servant of the Eye, and what it is you know how Driders are, the half spider, half drow kind of centaur things.
Right.
They're the result of people who take the test of Lolth and fail. So what the Lesser Servants of the Eye are is it takes a Drider who was abandoned by Lolth, and it replaces the spider part with an octopus part.
Yeah, okay, that's where that comes from. Got it. Ugh.
Right, and this is the Elder Elemental Eye's way of taking, of corrupting Lolth's failed servants to its service. Yeah, exactly. That was a fun image to make.
It's pretty gross.
I took one of the Drow illustrations from G3 and I superposed it on an octopus illustration from something. So priest servant of the eye. So those are actually ex-Driders. And cool. I just wanted to run with that. It's kind of it's almost the EEG is mocking what Lolth does to her failed servants.
Yeah.
So Master Crafter just said, "Love it. Looks like a new mini opportunity." That's awesome. Yeah. All right. So after let's just cut after second edition. During first edition, Art Arcana comes out, and
one of my favorite books.
It's a good book. I mean, it's
But
got.
we were waiting desperately for it when
We're
it came
waiting
out. We were
desperate.
like, yes.
Yeah, but a couple things, that bug me. I hate the Cavalier in here, and I love Dragon 72s way better. Now, Tim doesn't agree with me. They're Mysterious Tim, but that's okay. Um, and there's a lot of really cool things in here. But what's your thought on the PC aspect of Dark Elves in this? You can even do.
Well, I liked it enough to include it in Adventure Stark and Deep.
Okay.
And what I also did was I included half Drow, because if you look at G3,
I love
there are
half
these
Drow.
half Drow outcasts,
Yep.
and there are actually two kinds of half Drow. There are human Drow, and there are elf Drow. So, like,
you just gave
you know,
away a campaign secret there, Joe.
it's in G3.
No, I know.
D3.
So I'll tell everyone here. The mongrels of the putrid tongue are attempting to crossbreed an orc with an elf, which is impossible according to the original Monster Manual guide, right? It says that you cannot breed with elves, cannot breed with orcs. It says it blank. The caveat is that they can breed an orc with an elf drow.
Ah.
And where do you find them? They're all high Simlu. Yes. Yep. That's the magic panacea to breeding an orc with an elf. So, yep. You still are yeah, but he's not paying. This is not a paid publication either.
It doesn't matter. The fan content policy allows you to use art.
Yep. And it's really cool.
And this is a free download, so anybody can just
that's exactly why.
Yeah.
So, with once we get through the second edition, after first edition, you can play with PCs. Elves. We have a full-blooded Dark Elves in the Order of Ulick. We've had them from day one, so that you were allowed to. What are the thoughts on later editions with Drow?
I mean, I'm not really familiar with third edition mechanically or fourth,
right?
So I'm not qualified to answer.
Okay.
I think they got updated just like they did in Forgotten Realms. But if you want to have cool feats, magic items, spells, and stuff, I think it pays off. You can look at the third edition had a lot of cool stuff in whatever direction you want to go, but you need to cherry pick. If you don't run the third edition, you have to kind of look at it. But when it comes to thematic, meaning third edition, if you include Pathfinder first edition in that, then in a lot of sense, that's the most published version of D&D, meaning there were more weird stuff being created all over the place in those years. So if you want to find really overpowered high level magic like Eldritch magics and all sorts of cool magic items and stuff, it's the third edition era is something you can find a lot of stuff because there were no streamlining. You went almost every rabbit hole that could be entered was explored and exploited. So in that sense, the third edition has a lot of cool stuff to offer, but you need to kind of tweak it down a notch here and there for sure in order to fit it into other. But third edition was kind of all encompassing, and it has the basics of DNA of D&D is built in there somewhere. So yeah.
So what about in fifth? What happens? With Dark Elves? I know. Then it starts. I mean, I always thought they had the purplish skin, and that solved the whole problem for me. You know.
Okay.
Instead of having the black skin, we just give them that light purplish hue or dark purplish hue, and it solved the problem of the
I've seen them
racial issues.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm just saying. In fifth edition, are Dark Elves playable?
Oh yeah.
Not really sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
In fifth edition, I think they are.
Can anyone out there tell me? I mean, yeah.
It depends on what. I'm sure they are somewhere. I'm not sure they are in Player's Handbook, but I think they are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just curious.
Yeah, because almost everything goes in 5e as well. At least after a while, when they kind of introduce various other. If not an official source, just to go to DM's Guild and search for it, and someone will have written the rules and put it in there. So yeah.
I'm just what I'm asking is that
official.
There's no. They're in the 2014 Player's Handbook. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, so let's talk Lolth here. I know we're all probably highly. I mean, it's cool, but it's not. It's disappointing in the Q1. So, and I have. I didn't think I had it, but I do have it on my machine. I do have Q2. So, excellent. I have them both. So, Joe, tell us your thoughts on Q1 and then Q2 as an enhancement, or to it, or what your
Q1's garbage.
except for the alternate worlds.
Granted, I actually did my Q2 is a replacement for Q1.
Oh, it's a full replacement. Okay.
The full blown replacement.
Okay.
I used a lot of those alternate worlds in my Q2. What I did was, I don't know if you can pull up the map, but
For Q2?
Yeah,
Yeah, it should be able to at the end, right?
keep going up. There you go. So it actually looks like a spider web,
Okay.
rather than the famous
Yeah.
adaptation of a placemat from a diner or whatever it was. So basically what this does, this restores the original intent that Gary had, that the idea, the capstone of the entire G and D series was going to be to not only destroy Lolth, but also seal the prison of the Elder Elemental God.
Okay.
And this lets you do that. And what adds the element of timeliness to this, of what the ticking clock is, that Lolth is about to embark on an invasion of Earth. So you can't just if the players fail, Lolth's going to invade the entire Sheldamar Valley.
Which technically
And so that
happens in the G series when you the return against the Giants, or no,
well, this is more in Kaoland
Right.
and so forth.
Oh,
If you go
okay.
to the other map, it'll
That's
show
what
you
this
where
is.
all the exactly. It'll show you where all the invasion points are. And so basically what you need to do is you need to go through the web of Lolth and close these gates that she's opening up. And at the same time, there's also the prison of the Elder Elemental God that you need to completely seal, because it's open just a crack, and that's how the EEG can give spells to its clerics.
Okay.
So you do that, and then you stop Lolth, and then you've saved the day. So I think this is much more satisfying because it ties together the original intent of the Elder Elemental God being a fundamental part of this adventure. Because the way the Q1 is written, is the entire aspect of the Isle Serfs and House Tomtor rebelling against the rest of the houses, that's completely dropped. It has nothing to do with anything in Q1.
That's so true.
Q2 brings it back and actually makes the finale make sense.
Okay.
And again, this is a free download on greyhawkgrognard.com. Take it, play it, make it your own.
Looks like you kept the side worlds.
Yeah. Some of them are in there, but
Okay.
the actual ticking clock is the invasion of
Okay.
Kaoland.
Nice. It's free.
And there's like rebel demons, and there's opportunities to have to find allies and stuff like that. So it's just as intricate and factiony as D3.
Okay. Excellent. And to right a wrong, correct?
Exactly.
I see you still have the levels of pluses of weapons goes down and all that. So
well, I took that. Yeah, I took that out of the
original
Manual of the Planes.
Yep.
Which I love. I love the Manual of the Planes, and they had the much more detailed stuff in Q1. I kept that because that's great to have.
Right.
Okay. that kind of mechanical stuff, that's perfect. It's the story that sucks.
So true.
Thank you, Bill. It was awesome to have you in the game. Yep.
Yeah, we had some great memories already from Paige, and kind of have more coming up at GaryCon.
I will see you there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, great.
I'll be way off, miles away in the dealer's room.
Oh yeah, that's the other end of the world.
Yes, exactly.
It's like a maze adventure to get there. So yeah.
I will be significantly closer to Canada than I will be to.
Well, it's more like west
Wait, there's Josh.
All I know is like a 10-minute walk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a quarter of a mile walk
right.
through the. They should make like an adventure with like little make a thing out of it. So because it's literally a dungeon to go there. So yeah.
I should not say this to Bill Mastercrafter and Josh Pop, but I'm going to. We're in our meeting with Luke on Monday. I tell him about all. I was like, I'm going to make sure I request a room closer and all that, and he goes. Don't be embarrassed. We can get you one of those. There's 5 carts there. We can get you
one of these little scooters.
And I said, no freaking way am I going to take a razzing from all those guys with one of me on one of those scooters. No way.
Scooter.
Yeah. Okay. Can you imagine? Oh my God. They wouldn't let me hear the end of it. Me driving around on one of those scooters.
Okay. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. Oh my God.
You can have a little mobility scooter going around. Yeah.
Yeah. See, there goes Curtis. I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, Luke, thank you very much, but I'd rather suffer. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yay, wheels, Scott.
Yeah, I know you will. That's why I'm not doing it. I am not doing it.
I'd be happy to be staying in the hotel, but they got me at the Holiday Inn because I'm a vendor. Heaven forbid a vendor actually, they treat them nice.
Yeah. I'm staff, so I always get the rooms that are as far away as possible. Past the vendor's hall. There is like one little extra corridor even further away.
Give me a pirate flag.
Yeah, that's what we get.
Is it true that there's a shuttle bus to the vendor hall?
I don't think so.
No.
I think you either go indoors or you can take a shortcut outdoors. I think, but maybe they have a vendor bus. I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so. Say, where are we right now, like, with overall published source or canon, Joe, with Lolth, Elder Elemental Guide, and the Drow? Let's just say it's 576 or it's 581.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, what was the development? Was there any development later on that changed things from the Sergeant era or later on?
They published the Elder Elemental God as a deity in a few sources. But honestly, they didn't really do anything with it. And I think a large part of that is because in Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil,
we did that at the same time. This is not
they conflated the EEG with Tharizdun, which was, we've already talked about that. It's a.
Yep.
Am I allowed to swear here?
Yes, absolutely for that.
It's a bullshit move.
It is 100%.
And it's. Unnecessary and everything, but I think that's why we saw the references to the EEG just kind of dry up, is because canonically it's the same as Tharizdun, and Tharizdun is cool and now, and the EEG is just
might also been that back then they wanted to tell other stories than Gary's original stories. I think there was still some idea of exploring other options than the original Gary.
You're giving him too much credit.
I don't know.
It's lazy writing.
I'm not buying that.
It's lazy writing.
Okay, it was just
too
me.
Nuanced. It was lazy.
Your instinct is to be nice.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
it's not warranted here.
Yeah. That's probably you're right. Yeah,
and also Gary went a different direction with the Calavdra in his book.
Yeah.
That's another thing that happened.
Yeah, and when Roger Moore did try to restore the setting, that was not included in any of his writings. He
never touched the vault.
Yeah, he didn't. He kind of avoided that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't address everything.
Yeah, no, but in a way it's good because now we have the original versions of it, and that's it. That's in a lot of sense that's better than to have retro whatever.
And that's why I always preach that D3 is where you go anywhere for Drow history and what's going on in the Underdark for Greyhawk. Period. You want to use Dimensions of Barons and stuff, that's fine, but it's not Greyhawk. It really is not. It's Underdark on steroids. Just like I love Ed. The Harpers are like insane. They're all 30th level characters running around. There are no 30th level characters running around in Greyhawk. You know what I mean? There's what?
I was going to say 3rd edition and Living Greyhawk had all sorts of weird stuff. So
it
yeah.
burns. Yeah. So all right. Trivia question: published source Highest level character in Greyhawk. Going
Greyhawk.
through the second edition.
Marklands?
Name the character.
The blue wizard, the Ferendor, the
He
blue.
doesn't know. He killed himself. No, he's not. Yeah, actual character.
He's not a character.
He's like a deity. No, he's not. He's a freaking no.
That's not
No, I don't think it's Mordenkainen. Is it Mordenkainen? I think there's one character higher than him.
Well, Mordenkainen kind of probably.
I think there's one character higher than Mordenkainen.
Third edition, yeah.
Yes, Uncle Fuzz, Rary.
Okay.
I think Rary's a level higher than Mordenkainen. I think Rary's 26th and Mordenkainen's 25th.
Which is ironic because Rary was invented so that he could stop at third level, which at the time was the medium, and so that he could have a character named Medium Rary.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was Brian Blue. That's why Rary was rolled up, was just to get into third level, so he'd be a medium and he would be medium Rary.
Oh, that's yeah.
That's yes.
Yeah, no Philidor, please. Philidor is oh God. Philidor is a mix of the Blue Wizards from Tolkien and whatever LSD
the Smurfs.
Carl Sargent was doing at the time. You know, so,
they are blue.
Yeah.
I always think he's the same as Fizban from Dragonlance.
But Fizban is Bahamut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's scary that I know that too.
Yeah, we have to have
Philidor,
some
yes, thank you. That's
craziness here and there have been introduced. So yeah.
All right. So, what questions does anyone have about the Elder Elemental God Lolth or any Drow that pertains to Greyhawk, or if you want to spin it out there somewhere else to anything that's going on in Forgotten Realms or any other places? I'm assuming there are no Dark Elves in Dragonlance, correct?
What?
I don't think there are Dark Elves in Dragonlance, correct?
Not that I know, but I'm definitely not an expert on Dragonlance. So yeah.
Not that I recall, but yeah, I haven't. I kind of stopped after the initial modules.
Yeah,
good
I
question.
don't remember ever hearing about them.
I played the first 3 modules back in when they came out. We had a guy that ran them for us, but I don't think there was any Drow in there. But that's it. That's my only.
I was actually more into the novels than I was the novel.
Yeah, I read at least the first 3, maybe or something.
But just last year, I tried to reread the first novel, and the type is so small. I literally couldn't.
You're older, just like the rest of it. Yeah.
No, but it's like 4-point type. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The original I got because I still have my originals. It's crazy how small the typeface is.
Yeah.
Well, Eric Boyd told us the secret in all the deity books or second edition, right? He did for Forgotten Realms. They got paid by the word, so he's stuffing in as much as he can.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. You think the Underdark spans the entirety of the Flannisters are broken up? Great question, Old.
No, I will do you better. It does not just go all the way through the Flanness. It goes through all of Oerk. We know this because Sundered Empire.
Yeah.
House Kilsec migrated from one Underdark to the other via some planes or whatever. But there's Underdarks in there's an Underdark in Northwest Oerk, which implies that the Underdark spans the entire continent.
Yeah, there might be separate islands that you have to use some magic to go from one to the other, but it's definitely
we also know that
everywhere. Yeah,
we also know that the Dark Elves were seen around the Temple of Elemental Evil, which means that the Underdark at least goes that far. And that makes sense because we know that Lareth the Beautiful was worshiping Lolth or serving Lolth. So it makes sense that there would be Dark Elves contacting him and the other members of the Lolth faction in the temple.
Yeah. And we also have from Greyhawk Adventures that I dug a 300-mile tunnel under the Nerdurg to get to. Yeah,
I knew you were going. No.
That's right. It's canonical. It goes all the way to
which is kind of crazy because it's the Lake of Unknown Depth, so they really dug deep, so to speak. But it's one of these crazy things.
You know, you can bust Eric Mona for that one.
I do because it's the only thing that I don't like about that adventure. The other stuff is awesome, but that is
no. Remember.
simple. Yeah.
In Greyhawk Ruins, there's an Underdark connection in there.
Yep.
So that came before Eric.
Yeah.
But
we also, some of these might be dimensional, so to speak. It might be portals rather than a 300 or 400 mile long tunnel or something. So it might
we
be.
Know that
yeah.
We know that there is a network of teleport gates.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that in one of the Gore the Rogue books.
Yeah.
Where they go to, I guess it's Mordenkainen's castle on the near dive,
Mm-hmm.
and they just teleport, to the other side, basically. So there's like this network of teleporters all across the Flanaess. Which I love. I love the idea. It's like a mass transit system for
there can be special minerals and stuff. So if you have certain magic and you find a deposit of it, then you can use that or type of whatever.
Maybe it's Oerth blood.
Exactly. Meaning there's some cool stuff. You can make up stuff like that for your campaign, and you can tweak it so the dwarves know about it.
That's a stupid idea.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I haven't used it. So I haven't used it. But you can make up cool stuff like that if you want to. So yeah.
But if you want to expand the Underdark map, here's Malden's site with this.
Yeah.
All right, showing a whole bunch of locations. A lot of them are done up.
There's an even bigger one that that covers a lot of the area there.
Bigger than
and when you look at the scale of that map, it only goes to like 2 hexes on the
right,
map.
2 to 3 hexes. It's true, man. That's how big those hexes are on the map. But it's cool because you can just come down here. Here, what do I want to know about the Moaning Chasm? And you can click on it, and there you go. You get some connections, and then you get all this stuff. You can have encounters down here. I'm just showing this so that Dennis has a lot of references, hence why his website is the oldest and last of the Greyhawk ones. So, yep, it's on Malden's Greyhawk. If you want to find it, you just go to the main page, right?
Yeah.
You go to the main page and you click right on this reference map right here, and you can go anywhere you want from here. And that's how you can find it, all right? Does Malden get over to the Slaver's Stockade? I don't think so.
There's probably Underdark tunnels in that area, but who knows?
It's simple with teleporters, and in fact, if you were at page, hold on. Dun, 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 dun. I have all the pictures here.
Here is I put the link in the chat here to his Underdark region page, which I think is really cool because there you have the map that picks both from the top down and from the side
awesome.
view of his Malden's Underdark map.
From this, and I ran this for Nuclear Meat, and then I reran it at Page with some minor changes. Rob played in it, my son, Bill's son. We had a full group for this. This is the 3rd game. You can do anything with portals. Mm-hmm. So there's a portal into this area of this, and this goes into the Lort Mills. So not far from Happy Springs. So there you go. So you can get Drow. You can get anyone you want anywhere with portals, right? So, we're going to talk about portals with Ed at GaryCon.
Yep.
So,
and don't forget he wrote that the whole article in Dragon in the 80s about gates.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think it might have even been a 2-parter.
Oh yeah, and Roger.
That was Ed. That was Ed, though.
That was Ed.
Ed back in the day, and then Roger wrote the first one in.
I got to study up on that.
And then
Gates
I think
one
there's
for the
if you're gonna do a panel about that, definitely read that because it is a brilliant article.
It's early too. I think it's in the
it's like early
70 and 80.
Yeah, more Ed. Yep.
Yeah, more Ed. Absolutely. So just note that it's a simple way of getting Drow anywhere you want in Greyhawk. There's a dungeon issue where they talk about Lolth was trying to pull Istvan into her demon web. Well, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff out there. And the cool thing is that you can use whatever you want of it. Joe's stuff is really well done. Especially if I was doing D3, I'd have that D4 addendum right there because you got all the things you're going to want to go to the old service estate, into the city, all detailed up to some degree in the city, especially so that you can do more adventuring. So that's what I would do. Yeah, of course. All right, what other questions do we have before we go on to this next quickie topic here? Before we do shout outs with Joe, because I want to discuss something. Anyone else? Bueller? No?
I'll go through and I don't see any. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is very Greyhawk too, everyone. You're going to see it coming if you're going to a con somewhere. Are you doing this at Gary Con? Joe, did you have a game for that for this at Gary Con?
No,
okay. Yes.
I try not to run games at cons where I'm vending.
Okay. But you did it, Paige.
I am, however, going to be doing it at TotalCon and Long Island and Central New York.
Okay.
They need to give you a bigger
Curtis,
booth
thanks,
at
man.
GaryCon so you can run this at the booth.
Yeah, it takes a 4x6 table at least to run. Yeah,
so
that would be like, unfortunately, but yeah, we had a blast. We did the at last weekend at the Philadelphia area.
Yeah, it looks so cool. I can attest. It looks so awesome with these little 15mm miniatures that were so well painted with heraldry and everything. It looked gorgeous, and it was so much fun.
Thanks, John.
To look at.
And at first, I wasn't going to play.
Bring up the pick again, yeah.
I was going to play, but then I said the good guys need help. Rob looks tired, right? Rob is exhausted, and the other guy James. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to help. And my son had fun with it too.
Yeah, there was a lot of cheering on the good side.
Yeah, it was fun. Joe, tell everyone like your thoughts on what you were trying to do with this.
So this is my Swords of Battle game that I'm playtesting right now, and I've been doing it at cons for a little while. This one was the Battle of Emerity Meadows, which everybody knows, and the game is essentially it's a medieval battle war game with miniatures, because I do historical minis a lot, and this is a historical minis game, but it also has first edition Magic. And the thing about first edition Magic is at this scale, almost no spells matter, right? So like Ice Storm and Magic Missile and none of that will matter at a scale.
You need hundreds of feet of range, otherwise you would not even mention here or visible.
Exactly. This is not a skirmish game. Each figure represents like 25 guys.
Oh, good point.
So this is a mass battle game, and and it plays like a regular medieval battle game. And I wanted to do something where I could do these kind of mass battles because I fell in love with when Gary had those events of the Flyness articles, and they were talking about the Iron League and South Province and the Great Kingdom and moving armies around and stuff. I want to play those battles. And I wanted to make a set of rules that was easy and that was D&D compatible. And I think I found that I'm still tweaking a few things here from these playtests.
Of course,
The first time I ran this, the bad guys won because the good guys messed up where they brought the elves out of the woods. Because it's as we know from the lore, in the battle there was like this secret force of elves in the gnarly forest, and they come out and they tip the battle in the good guys and they messed up right where they brought them in. The good guys won here because they did a cavalry charge and obliterated the nobles. It was great. No, that was an epic cavalry charge. They just
right here,
the gnolls.
Right here. This group here kicks some ass. So
you can see. Can you zoom in again?
Yeah.
There was a lot of cheering on the
colors.
good side, I have to say.
They're all proper colors painted by Joe.
All the figures are in the right livery for the different nations. There's the steadfast pike from
look. You can
from
see
Valuna.
You can see the symbols on the minis. Yeah. Yep.
Right. The steadfast pike is actually something that's such a deep cut because that name of the unit comes from the old minifigs Greyhawk line. They had the steadfast pike, and there was no explanation. It's just the name of these pikemen from Valuna. And I wanted to make sure that I got that in there.
Yeah, Wolford, Certain, and Thrommel in this. They're the three leaders.
Yeah, because the leaders are attached to the command bases and stuff. Yep. But I just wanted to make something that was, the rules themselves were only like 8 pages. And I wanted to make something that was easy to learn and fun to play. And I'm going to toot my own horn. It looks great on the table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I want to expand out the scenarios and stuff and do a lot more Greyhawk things with it. And when I publish it finally, I'm going to have counters that are the same size as the bases, so people don't need to make all the minis.
Yes,
you
can
could
play
just
it
use
as
the counters.
tokens.
And,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know. Remember, it was in play test. We didn't know that the orcs would charge at double movement rate. So that kind of So here's the little tidbit of like when this group back here moved up, we killed their leader in the first round. The elves appeared. And that was it, and they lost more command points, and that was kind of strategy. They failed mainly here. This is where they failed. They failed, but where's the dragon? The dragon's is that the dragon right there?
No, the dragon is
yeah.
by the river, by the ravine.
Oh, and not in this one. In this picture.
Oh no, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because the charge hasn't happened yet. The dragon's flying around somewhere, and when it gets within the command range of a hero, thanks, Calsteph, you can challenge it and then do like a one-on-one RPG fight. And so I wanted to kill Thrommel because it would fit with everyone with the damn vampire bullshit. So
we teased you at the con. You have to be teased him with this.
So every time the dragon was anywhere near, Thrommel challenged a dragon, and those cowards would not fight, and then it hurt their morale every time.
Oh boy, did they pay for it!
They paid for it. I mean, it was so awesome.
If you refuse the challenge, all of your units basically get a -1 on their morale rolls, and that kills you.
Sided die, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is an enormous disadvantage. They didn't care. They didn't want to lose the dragon. Yeah. And they didn't really use the dragon for anything. They just kind of anyway.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of. The point is, it was a lot of fun, and I'm going to be running this at cons where I'm a guest, not at cons where I am a vendor. And there's a lot of cons this year where I'm a guest. I ran it at ShireCon last year too.
Cool.
So, here's the little tidbit for you all. And if you argue that it's not that way, then you can argue with Luke. So we had a meeting Monday night for our book, and Luke asked a question. I want it to make sense why Luke is like Melf is putting together this Orden of the Verdant shield in 576. Why he's going after Ayus? Well, he's up there at the Shield Lands. And I said, simply, you've seen what happens when evil coalesces in the past. So, Scarlet Watch, thank you. So, I said to him, I got the perfect thing for you, and that is the following. Joe Block has done this great wargame simulation of Ballads of Emery Meadows. I know everything about it. He has an elven contingent. It's 576. It's 569. You got nothing else going on with Melf. Have Melf there. It's right in your backyard. They're Selenian elves, right? I mean, it's perfect. So you are, whether you're a leader or you're just a lieutenant or whatever you are, you're in this ambush group. And he's like, "That's great." So there you go, Joe.
I can make that happen.
You could put Melf in as one of these tag characters.
I can do that. All I need to know is what level is Melf at this.
We believe 7/7, but I'll get that more. So it'll be 7th level. In yours.
Let me know, and he will be a part of this scenario every time.
I guess 7/7 to be equivalent of 8th for the purposes of the game on dice, right? It's one level higher for a multi-class character. That's your call. But because these other guys are 10th. So hey, and Scarlet Watch, thank you very much. We're 45-year Growl campaign. Got some legends here. Got Joe Block, Grout Grognard from YouTube, and the great Anna Meyer here, and welcome. And we're doing a giveaway, so please exclamation point drawing. So I just wanted to tell you that, I know Sam may say that never happened. Melf was off somewhere at someone's Hurricane's house or whatever. I don't care.
We don't know he wasn't there.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's
he wasn't there.
Well, it's going in the book that he was. So it's going in his.
It's perfect.
It's going in Mel's history that he was. So I'm just giving you guys a little tidbit.
Then he will be one of I will make a new flag that includes Melf for the Elven commander that comes. The Elven commander on a stag that comes in when the.
Rob, it's simple. He can just take there were 6 or 7 command points already. He can just take a command point away from the unnamed ones, one of the unnamed leaders over here, and just add it to the Melf back there, or whatever. Whatever he wants to, or not have a command point for the elves because they're special. Whatever. He doesn't have to. It's up to Joe for his game gameplay.
Yeah, I'll have to see how that works. I'll probably include it when I'm at.
Give it a shot.
The Total Con, because I'm running it there.
Exactly.
I'm also running a troll.
If Luke says Melf was there, Melf was there. So there we go. That's it. We're not going to say anything to.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
makes
that's canon as far as I'm concerned. But
100%.
yeah, we might tinker with the thing. Depending on the level, when we establish that, that'll determine how many command points Melf adds. Because the way this particular scenario works, the intention is that the good guys don't have to worry about command points. Command points activate units, so you can move your units. You roll a die, and you have bonuses for your leaders. The Horde of Elemental Evil deliberately has very few command points, even though they've got 3 times as many troops, and that's their big disadvantage.
Right.
That's how the scenario is set up. So I'll see how it goes. I'll probably try it at TotalCon.
Yeah, give it a shot. I mean, we'll figure it out because we got to figure out what Luke is and what Melf is at 576, what level he's going to be for the book. And
569.
No, for our book.
I need him for 569.
Right, but we got to make sure that we don't tell you he's a higher level than he is in the book.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, that's what we got to make sure. So we'll figure that out.
It might be a 1.
Yep, there's Andy. Yeah, Andy was there. Yep, Andy was there. Andy, who I worked at Electronics Boutique with together in 1992. If you didn't know that, Michael Zudrak, there's Andy, ex-military guy too. Yep. Exactly, Baker. It makes total sense that he was there. It just does. So, and that's why I'm looking forward to our writings. And they're a great group. We had fun that night. I wanted to share with all of you as we had a little bit of time before the show ended. Just saying, get in one of these when you see Joe somewhere. Get in the game, and then play it. Joe was talking about doing one that's all Hateful Wars scenarios. That's. I think the Hateful Wars is way bigger than this. Some of those fights.
So what I want to do, I got plenty of figures. Believe me. Wait a minute. Let me show you. Can you see this bin?
Yes.
This is my bin of shame of 15mm medievals.
Yes.
I've got plenty of figures.
All right, good.
To make big battle.
That's awesome.
So they are good. They need painting.
Yeah, they need to be painted, but I got.
I realized that when you said the box of shame, then I realized they're not painted.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's Rob. There's me. Andy. The staff member Matt, I believe. I can't remember this gentleman's name. James and Joe with his. Are these in your main book, or are they separate?
No, this is going to be published separately.
Separately.
Once all the playtesting is done.
All
right.
Yeah. Cool.
That's Bill. This is Bill. Thank you. So, and Tim was wandering around with his son. Troy was there. Anna was there watching a little bit on and off. So
we stood there a couple hours and sat down and watched. It was awesome.
Oh, Bill is a staff member.
I deliberately wanted to do it in the hotel so we could have.
That's quiet. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Well, it's quiet and the bar.
Food and all. Yeah,
oh
the bar.
yeah, that's
I was
true.
drinking clothes and cream that night.
The bar was like 60 feet away.
Yeah.
So it was.
Yeah, arranged for his kidnapping to hook up with Jolene. That's funny. So remember, Dale, that's 4 years after this. That's 573.
Dale, damn. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So all right. Just wanted to share that with you that I had a fun time doing it, and I was so.
I'm really glad because I had a fun time. That you guys really looked like you were having a hoot.
Yeah, and my son enjoyed it until he got transient, which he always does. But rolled. He was terrible rolling dice.
He was great.
Yeah, definitely. So, what other questions might you have, audience, before we call it an evening? We're almost at the 2 hours. We'll do the giveaway, and then we'll find someone to raid into. So.
MILF. That's great.
Yes. Yep. So, any audience questions about the Drow, EEG, Lolth, or the Battle of Emerity Meadows? You guys and girls are making it too easy for me tonight. So, nothing.
I think we.
Looks like it.
Rob, my dice were unbelievable on that Saturday game, weren't they, Paige? Oh my gosh, I was critting you guys left and right.
Yeah. Any time plan on the rules? When do you think you will have a published version?
This year is the goal. The hard part is going to be doing the actual counters, and such. So the goal is to have it done this year.
Yeah, and they will be for sale on your website and through your shop, so to speak, or
And
where
at cons too, probably, right?
and
Well, absolutely at cons.
Yeah.
I've got an I I d- I don't know if it's going to be print and play or if it's going to be actual boxes with counters.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll be one of those
Okay. Yeah.
options. I don't know yet. That's
Okay.
still up in the
Yeah.
air.
That's yeah. Well, first you have to write the rules and make sure that all the stuff works
That's what
as intended.
that's what
Yep.
this first half of
Mhm.
the year is for, is to
Yep.
iron out all the bugs with the rules. We've every time I run it, there's a little tweak here and there that
I
I've
do the same
done.
with
So
my little rule set here too. Every time I run it, it's like, oh, that needs to be fixed a little bit and
exactly,
stuff.
exactly.
Yep.
So I'm anticipating by the end of my big
I will.
push
Yeah.
in May in April, then I'll be ready to roll.
Cool. Awesome. Yep.
So I have a question. Are you at HGMS this year at Lancaster?
Oh yeah, Historicon.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be there running this.
Oh, okay, and that's
And
July,
Liberty Meadows is.
correct?
I will run this and Ogre.
It just depends on when my second hip surgery is for me,
Right.
because my son loves the wargaming. I mean, we bought all this. He was playing World of Tanks all day Friday, Saturday after our game while the seminars were going. Remember, you and I were in the first seminar, and then I had Troller Games in the second. He was playing World of Tanks over there, kicking everyone's butts, and so I got him a starter set on that, and he really liked it, the board game version of it.
Yeah.
So, Michael Zudrak asked, "Are you going to run this at ShireCon?"
Probably.
There you go.
This year at ShireCon, I'm
Okay.
hoping to be a guest rather than a vendor, so I'll be running stuff all weekend. This and Castleman Archmage and other stuff. So
Yes, the World of Tanks war game. They're really cool. Nice tanks.
it's a great game. World of Tanks is a lot of fun.
Hey, Chuck. Great to see Joe on Jay.
Hello.
Great guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Chuck. Yep. So we'll go over some shout outs here now. All right. So, Anna, you live Friday night?
Yes, that's the intent. So I have my mother is visiting from Sweden, so I picked her up this morning, or today. But that's the intent. So the plan is to be on Friday. So yeah.
All right, cool.
You're from Uppsala, right?
No, from she lives in Strömstad on the west coast, the northern end of the west coast, like 5 miles from the Norwegian border. So yep.
Oh yikes! That's way up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's about 2 hours driving from north from Gothenburg, but it's beautiful. It's on the Swedish west coast when it's the most beautiful. Yep. It's like a resort town. Yep. And in winter time too, when there's like snowstorms and yeah, it's a bit like
we get all the northern lights too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Occasionally you get them that far south too. Yep.
So, Anna, what else would you like to? What else is going on?
I'm working on the GIS, the digital series, the first GIS series of maps. Sheldomar is coming out tomorrow, the day after. So there's like I think 4 more parts to do, and if a little bit of luck, I can do all the four parts this week. So the Sheldomar is like 90% ready to go. So that will probably come out tomorrow, and if I'm lucky, I can do another one because they're less heraldry and all the stuff afterwards as far as I go west. So we have the Becklunish West, we have the Emedio and stuff like that. So the last, I think it will be 4 parts to cover the rest. And then the first GIS series, the 2 million scale, 1 to 2 million for digital use done, so to speak. And then I will start working on the print series, a GIS series for print that will hopefully have, my goal is to have the first 1 or 2 ready for GaryCon. There's a little bit more work to set up because I need to make sure that the fonts and symbols and stuff are the right size for print. So I have to do some test prints and stuff. But hopefully it could be ready so I can have at least 1 print with me to GaryCon to show off, and they will be available to order prints from Noble Dwarf, and they will also be downloadable as PDFs from me. So that's another one big coming. And then there's a bunch of the Melf project and one project for Cannibal Publishing is also underway here. So yeah.
Excellent. Joe, anything you would like to shout out?
Well, I'm not working on the Melf project, alas. But
sorry about that. But we got
no, I got plenty to keep me busy. Believe me.
Yeah.
I'm working on a Sundered Empire thing for DM's Guild, which will hopefully be done when they get their monster manual out. I've got obviously the 3 5e Greyhawk books are still in the top 10 of bestsellers on DM's Guild, so yay! And
Great.
there's the campaign guide, the player's guide, and the cleric's guide. The cleric's guide has a new 5e cleric subclass for each deity, which I'm very proud of. The 2 of them are in print. The other one, hopefully, if I can get the stupid thing to work, is going to be in print soon. Um, I'm doing a zillion conventions this year for reasons that escape my
You're
escape
doing an
me.
awful lot
That
this
was a
year,
reason
man.
when you
I
signed
did
up,
like
or
8
they invited
conventions,
you.
Wow.
Yeah.
plus a cruise. It's crazy.
Wow.
And I'm also working on a new Castellan Archmage level, and I'm working on a new 2 new 1E modules. So I got a full dance card.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
But if you like Greyhawk and you like 5e, definitely check out the Greyhawk Player's Guide, Greyhawk Player's Guide, and Greyhawk Setting Guide.
Yep. 100%, man. And we had it in hardback. We showed it at Page. That was a player's guide, right?
Well, I've actually, now that you mention it,
Old DM says he ordered the player's guide last weekend.
yeah,
got all
so,
3 now.
You know, all 3
Oh,
exist.
look at
There
that.
you go. Good.
Yeah. There you
But
go.
yeah, you can see the problem with this one.
Yeah, nothing on the spine.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
there's
don't
no text
offer.
for whatever reason. They're just not rendering the text on the spine. So
Oh, so they don't.
that
Do
issue.
they offer the option to put text there, but then they don't
Oh
print
yeah,
it, or?
oh yeah, no, and there is text in the PDF that I upload. It just
Yeah.
doesn't print.
Oh,
So I've
that's bad.
I'm
Because that's so
I'm on
cool.
my
You want to
third
put them
proof
in the
copy.
Oh, man.
yeah. They should be when you put them in the shelf. The spine is that's a key part of the
Exactly.
book. Yeah.
Exactly. So but I've got a third proof coming. So we'll
Yeah.
see how
You,
we'll see if I fix
yeah,
it.
you know how, because you probably had the frog god issues all the time there, Michael. I bet.
But I also have to say that Joe had the coolest tomes at the convention. They were
thickest
the
tomes.
biggest, thickest tomes with the orange spine.
Yeah,
They
my
were,
phone books.
yeah, they're awesome, cool looking. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, so tomorrow night, I ripped off of the title of this one from the Sci-Fi Channel TV show, Mystery of the Abandoned. If you ever watch those shows with all the old building. So the Narwhal Headhunters going to a town that has been abandoned for a while under rumor, and I won't spoil for anyone, but here's some pictures of, I just threw some things in there. Whether they're there or not, that's up to you. So, yep. The table is all set up for it. And here's one from the tower view. So there you go. Some neat terrain for that. That is Thursday night, normally 7:30. Gamescape 3D, probably a Reaper miniature giveaway as well. In that Saturday morning, nice, bright and early for Curtis on the West Coast. SUS Champions. So I got Bones back for it's first time in a while for Bones. Coco, Sir Timothy, Rob Phantom, and Mike Disney back for he hasn't been playing in a while.
Awesome.
Too.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we're going to raid into Mike Disney after this because he's raided into me twice and I haven't raided into him. So I'm going to probably raid into him tonight. So the premise on this is Coco's character, Faunalyn, who's is now an initiate apprentice Knight of Ulick in the Order. It's going to take a group of these characters on a mission back into the SUS. Got it, Pat. Just and I'll save that for Saturday. Okay. Thank you very much. So everyone saw it on here. Rob Phantom's playing in it, so he saw it, and Coco got a special from the trivia question I gave. So her character, because Rob's playing as Earth Elementalist, Mike Disney's playing a Dwarf Fighter, not Skarn. Tim's even got a new character. He's got an Inquisitor Paladin instead of regular Paladin, and Bones has got Devin, the Tooth Collector Bandit. So we'll have fun. And I'll probably bring one NPC cleric along. So that is Saturday at 9. And I don't know if Gavin's going to be Sunday night or Monday night next week. Because if the Eagles lose, I'm going to be in a freaking miserable mood for Sunday night. I don't think I'll be. Yeah, we'll just worry about that later. Okay, so let's get through these next couple streams. Thanks. That's 2 for me, Rob. Remember that for Saturday. Alrighty. So let's do the giveaway. Let's see who wins. Right, yeah, racking up the regulars. Yep. All right, and there were no specials at all except for one that someone got for answering a question over the 3 games. They played without any specials or regulars. There was a lot of critical hits and fumbles at Page. Here we go. Last call, exclamation point drawing. Let's see who wins. All right, gonna close it out. You will get the World of Greyhawk Gazetteer and your choice of either. As long as if you have both of these, and you can choose another one. I got Swamplight, Treasures of Greyhawk added into the Gazetteer revised. Okay. So let's see. What it's covered here. Michael, what are you saying? Assume it was easier on you not. I couldn't. It was too loud. So
yeah,
something
it was difficult.
so loud, so loud everywhere. It was double the people. It just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Next year we'll have
next year
rooms
something's going on. We'll discuss it later if it happens, and then we're gonna have a much easier time at streaming, and all the other things going on. But that's for next year, and that's in preliminary, so I really can't discuss it. But it's gonna be cool. So giveaways here. Here we go. Let's see who wins. Closing it out. Winner tonight is BB Fan Fun. Grats. I saw you on BB, so I know you're here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, yeah. BB, you tell me Swamplight or Treasures. All right, you let me know which one you want, and I'll add it to the Gazetteer. I think I have your address. And thank you, Joe, for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. That was a great discussion.
Always a pleasure to be here. It's
it was
always
fantastic.
a thrill to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. There was a lot of cool stuff we got to put some more context and all that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Scarlet Watch, I really appreciate the raid, and thank you so very much for that. That was very nice of you. And we're going to raid into Mike Disney right now, and see you all tomorrow night, 7:30 for, I think it's going to be at least 2 weeks, this Narwhal Headhunter adventure, maybe as many as 3. So we'll start kicking that off. It'll be the monthly 5th level characters, so it's low level. All right. See you all tomorrow night. Have a good one.
Bye,
I'm gonna hit a wrong. Oh, I almost hit another wrong
Uh-oh.
button here. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Second one tonight. Yep.
Sitting the radar. Swamplight. Got it. Thank you. Pull that out. It'll go out tomorrow. Oh, Michael Zudrak probably be a Frog God game giveaway on Saturday too. I forgot to mention that. So. Raid up. Starting it up. See if we can get like 90 in on her mic. That would be great. Nice big number. Awesome. We'll take it. Over 80's awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Make sure it went.
Yep. Popped over. Party of 80.
Jesus.
Yep. That's a good number.
Yep.
Okie doke.
All right.
Yep.
Joe, thank you so very much. Have a great night.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.